Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Brett James back again with another video, and today, man, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 NBA MVP candidates post All-Star break. There's been a lot of guys that have risen in the MVP talks and a lot of guys that have fallen, but I'm here to give you my top 5 list on the MVP candidates. So let's stop wasting time and let's hop right into this video though. Coming in at number 5, I've got Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Bucks, former two-time MVP and Defensive Player of the Year last year in the NBA. Giannis has been exceptional this year in the regular season, as we're used to seeing from him in the regular season. The criticism has always been with him in the playoffs with this Milwaukee Bucks team, and this offseason they went and got Drew Holiday. I think that's going to make a big difference in the playoffs this year when they go out there and they compete. Even though they're in the 3 seed right now, they're just 2 games shy of the number 1 seed of the Eastern Conference of the Philadelphia 76ers, the Brooklyn Nets, who are sitting in the 2 seed as of right now. Giannis has played absolutely phenomenal this year. Like I said, that's nothing new coming from him in the regular season, but let's see what he can do in the playoffs after he lost to Kawhi Leonard once they were up 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago in the playoffs. Then last year in the bubble, they lost in the semifinals to the Miami Heat in that Jimmy Butler team, and now he's going to be faced with a tough task with another Miami Heat-led team, the Brooklyn Nets. The 76ers and the Celtics are kind of on the come up now. Let's see what Giannis is going to do in the playoffs, because that's where all his criticism comes from. My number 4 candidate for MVP is going to be Steph Curry. The Golden State Warriors at the moment are in the 9th seed in the Western Conference, which would be good enough for a play-in tournament. You got to remember this year, teams 1 through 10 are going to be playoff eligible. Obviously, the play-in tournament's going to be for the seeds 7 through 10, but Steph Curry's got the Warriors in position to make the playoffs and to have a chance. Especially if they get in the playoffs, they will be a tough out for anybody just because of Steph Curry. At the end of the day, the team around Steph Curry is not that great. I'm not really high on Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins. Draymond Green's not the same player. Once Klay Thompson comes back, the Warriors will be fully loaded. But Steph Curry right now has got this team at a 500 record, and he should easily be in the MVP conversation with what he's doing. Still shooting 40+% from 3 like we're used to seeing, especially with that tough win versus the Utah Jazz the other night. The Jazz on the midst of a 5-game road trip. Steph Curry came out and proved yet again why he should be in the MVP conversation. Steph Curry, if he can get the Warriors in the playoffs, they're going to be a tough out for anybody. My number 3 candidate for MVP right now has got to be Dame Damian Lillard over in Portland. And look, even though we all understand how great of a player Damian Lillard is and how slept on he is, I still cannot believe how underappreciated this man has been throughout the entirety of his NBA career, and he still to this day is. Even though we know how clutch he is and we know the leader that he is, he honestly deserves to be in the MVP conversation. That's why I got him at number 3. But Dame Dalla has been absolutely carrying this Portland team, not just this year, but in recent years. This year, obviously, CJ McCollum's been out with a handful of injuries. They've been dealing with Nurkic being out as well. But Dame Lillard consistently, time and time again, comes through for the Portland Trail Blazers even when they're depleted, and once they get CJ McCollum back, they are going to be lethal, and they are going to be a tough out as well for any team in the Western Conference come playoff time. And I think that they have a real shot at beating anybody. Currently, they're in the 6th seed. They're about 2.5 games out of the 3 seed as well. But Damian Lillard has put this team on his back. And if he was playing in a bigger market, he would be getting way more glitz and glamour and more respect. But we all know the kind of guy that Dame Lillard is. Game winner after game winner, clutch shot after clutch shot. That's just how this man is. And that's why Dame Dalla gets that name. My number 2 MVP candidate's gotta be the Joker, Nikola Jokic. This man's basically a walking triple-double. We all know he's the best passing big man in the game, the most skilled player at his position, easily, if you ask anybody, and he's the reason why Denver has a chance every night, along with a guy like Jamal Murray. Nikola Jokic makes it look effortless on the floor with his passing abilities and everything he does, scoring the ball as well, making centers having to come out. He can do post-up moves, of course, assist the ball as well, and he creates a lot of spacing for other players on the court, especially guys like Michael Porter Jr. as well. But Nikola Jokic has consistently, time and time again, came through for the Denver Nuggets, and especially that game not too long ago versus the Portland Trail Blazers back in February. I believe it was February 23rd. He put on an absolute show for the Denver Nuggets. And my number 1 candidate for MVP has got to be Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has been putting on an absolute show this year, and he's been absolutely murdering everybody in the NBA. Eastern Conference teams, Western Conference teams. Saw him drop 40+ points on Rudy Gobert, who's probably going to be a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year this year. Arguably the best defensive center in the NBA, and he's been doing it to everybody his entire season. Joel Embiid did just go down with an injury this past week. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, I believe. I would say Joel Embiid right now is the definitive MVP. I don't think you could argue anybody else. but with the injury, that's probably going to have him set back. It's probably going to set the Sixers back. They're probably going to fall in the standings. Ben Simmons cannot carry that team, and he will not carry that team. So I think MVP honestly will go to Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets aren't that high up in the standings, but I'm sure that they will climb as the season progresses. Joel Embiid to me should be the MVP, but if it's not, I see it going to Nikola Jokic or Dame Dalla just because of what they're doing in the Western Conference in comparison to the Eastern Conference. And you got to put into the fact of the matter that Joel Embiid will be out for a significant amount of time, and I hope Doc Rivers does not rush this guy back. I do want to be very clear. Yes, I did not have LeBron James in my top 5 candidates for MVP, nor did I have Kyrie Irving or Jimmy Butler. They all have compelling arguments, and even in a guy like Chris Paul, who's got the Suns to a number 2 seed, all of these guys, rightfully so, should be in the MVP conversation. And look, they are playing like top 10 players. We all know what these guys are capable of doing night in and night out, especially for their team. But LeBron, to me, should not be in the MVP conversation, at least top 5, I would say, in my eyes, in comparison to these other guys. Because we all know what LeBron James is doing. 25, 8, and 8, nothing short of greatness when it comes to him. We all know he's still the best player in basketball. But when it comes to the regular season, he just doesn't need to be trying that much. And he's not trying that much. Especially with Anthony Davis compromised and out due to injury. LeBron does not need to be pushing his body to win an MVP when he should be fighting for an NBA Finals and saving that for the playoffs, which is probably what he's going to do. So no, that's not hate. That's not discrediting what he's doing. I just say in comparison to the other guys, I think that they have a more compelling argument to win the MVP. And like I said, that applies for Kyrie Irving. Jimmy Butler has done a fantastic job. The Heat, I think, had the 3rd worst record in basketball. Now they're sitting at the number 4 seed. They are playing very good. Jimmy Butler's playing very good. All of these guys have good arguments, but right now, those are my top 5 candidates for MVP. Those guys are all honorable mentions. Things can change up. It is the NBA regular season. Things always happen. But right now, that's where I stand with these MVP talks. But hey, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and support. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe down below. Make sure you guys go follow me on all my socials as well. I'll post them down in the description as well. And make sure you leave a like. It really helps me and the channel out tremendously, and it only takes a moment. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much, and I'm out, boys. Peace!